and welcome back to WGBH's Drama After Dark. Tonight we are super excited because we have our first ever remote guest, Amanda-Rae Prescott.
Hi!
Yay! We are hoping that this is going to...
Kind of cool. The power of the internet, right?
The power of the internet is pretty incredible.
We love the power of the internet.
I'm Jackie Bruley, as always, joined by Andrea Willanen on the couch. We are going to try this new tech thing tonight, so please let us know if you have any weird glitches so we can try and fix them. And we're going to kick off our show tonight with the speed recap, and Andrea has to do it tonight. Ha!
It's true. It's going to be tense, especially after last week when somebody didn't even finish.
You know what?
It's going to be very difficult for me to beat that.
I don't need this in my life, Willanen.
All right.
Are you
I'll
ready?
just go then.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. And go.
Charlotte lands in London hot on the trail of Georgiana. She immediately gets mugged but is rescued by Sydney. Natch. The two join forces to find Georgie, but it turns out Otis kinda sorta accidentally caused her to be sold into a marriage. Barf. Sito swashbuckles in to rescue her, but she's definitely pissed at Otis. Meanwhile, Tom's sad, Babington is confused, Lady D is on her deathbed, Edward is scheming, Clara is playing Watergate, the home game, and there's a huge ball fraught with romantic tension. And just when things couldn't get more confusing for Char, Sito's ex shows up. Yikes. Done.
That was very quick.
Oh, since I have time left, happy birthday, Mom!
That is a great use of your extra time.
Thank you, thank you.
So there was a lot that you just talked about.
There was a lot in there. To be honest, that last bit was really me just ing it, I have to say.
This could have been, I think, 4 episodes tonight.
Yeah, there was so much drama happening in this one.
So I think we have to talk about some of our favorite moments from tonight. It wouldn't be a masterpiece show if we didn't talk about the ball.
Oh my goodness.
Where Sydney and Charlotte dance.
Which I can't wait to hear more from Amanda-Rae about, because she is our costume goddess.
Yes.
This week. And we would love to hear what you think of the costuming in this scene, especially.
Cool, I definitely will be chipping on that.
Yeah.
The hand grasping is such a classic moment, I think, in these shows.
It's such a classic Austin thing, too, I think. It's become Austin classic now.
Yeah, you gotta lean into that stuff.
Yeah.
Not an Austin classic, but I enjoyed it. The carriage jumping scene, which felt like it was right out of Fast and the Furious.
So I don't think we've talked about this on the show before, but Jackie is a Fast and the Furious fiend. She really loves it.
I'm a little obsessed in a way that is slightly embarrassing. I own
it.
Most of the films and have seen a lot of them premiere in theaters. Look, I love a film that has lots of drama, lots of exciting action sequences, and a very diverse cast. What can I say? I'm into it.
What can one say? I love that scene too, mostly because of the part where Sydney was so intent on rescuing Georgiana that he literally elbowed the groomsman out of the way and was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And just giddy up Dawn out of there.
While still wearing a top hat. Which seems like it could have led to some fashion disasters.
Well, that's just Sydney.
You're gonna lose your hat, you goof.
He's a special boy.
You goof.
And then, also, we had that interesting scene with Edward and Clara. This is the voice I'm apparently using for whenever I'm being a little sarcastic. Personally, who doesn't want a floor that has a giant coiled snake on it in their house? I do. I know I do. I would probably do the same thing Clara was doing with that floor if I had it. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, if I have to agree, if I had a floor with a giant snake, I would probably have to get down on that giant snake floor. I don't know. What do you agree with this, Amanda-Rae, or are we alone in this?
I can't get with that energy. It's too over the top. I just can't deal with it.
It was a lot.
Or something, that's just supposed to be. But then again, that's kind of Lady D's aesthetic anyway. Over the top.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite moments this week?
Okay, for me, it was actually one of, I know it's probably the downest scene for everybody, but Otis and Georgiana's goodbye.
Oh my God.
It is a punch in the gut. I cried. I mean,
yes.
And by cry, I mean, not too hard, because then I would look horrible on camera, but inside, I was dying. My other favorite bit actually was sort of Esther's kind of realization that, whoa, you did what with Clara? Yeah. I thought we were, what is going on? That the table was starting to turn. I'm reading that. I also like Charlotte's discovery of, oh wait, I'm not in Kansas anymore. There's actual like people, and sometimes they're scary, and
I know.
doing it's just confusing actually.
Charlotte's encounter with the mugger in the alley was like such a reminder at how naive she is.
Yeah.
Because Sanditon, to your point, is like such a safe,
Right.
innocuous place.
I also like the guy that just barfed at her. Like,
If you don't do that to an out-of-towner, you haven't lived in a city.
welcome to London. Bleh.
That's how I welcome to people to Boston all the time.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, that's how I greet my friends at the train station. I don't know about you.
I completely agree with all of your favorite moments, Amanda-Rae. I think that that Otis and Georgiana scene really got me.
He needs to get into Gamblers Anonymous because, like, when you love somebody, you don't, sell them into marriage.
Yeah, not great.
At least in my opinion.
And actually, speaking of that, we put up a poll on our Twitter feed. It's right underneath the tweet that has like this video in it, and the tweet has the question that's going to be our hot take debate topic for tonight. And that hot take debate topic is: would you take Otis back after the events of tonight's episode? Like, his debts have been paid off, and we're kind of like okay, but also him talking about your money did cause you to almost like get fully sold to a creepy old man. So think about that.
Yeah.
Discuss. Tell us what you think, and we will read those poll results.
I'm just saying we would have to have a lot of long talks.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I would have to have a lot of long talks with any of these men, though.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
All of these men need a long talking to.
Now, speaking of long talks, I'm going to take a look at our comments here from the old social phone, populated by our social producer, Zach. All right. Karen added some comments on Facebook. This week's episode was spellbinding. You are up for a challenge.
Me?
Yes, but I'm not sure what you're referring to, Karen. Remind us why Andrea's up for a challenge.
Oh, I bet it's because of the recap.
Oh, the recap.
The recap.
That's fair. It was a very tough recap.
And I did kind of like shrank everything down a lot.
Wow, okay, and we've already got, so like the early returns on this poll.
The early returns.
The early returns.
We're faster than Kansas. Did I say Kansas? My bad.
Andrea's like, I know what's happening in politics. That's fine. We don't work right next door to the newsroom. It's okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so the early returns. So far, 20% of you are saying that you would take Otis back, and 80% are saying that you would not. Which is...
I would think we'd get a little more love for Otis here. I'm surprised.
Well, we have time, so keep voting.
Okay.
I want to hear more. And while we're waiting for that, we are going to chat a little bit with our guest, Amanda-Rae. Because we want to find out all the details that are to be known about you.
Yes.
And I will say that in a way that isn't super weird, maybe.
No, that was creepy. It's fine. Totally fine. So, I have one that I want to start with.
Go.
Which is that when we were talking to you about what your title for the show today was, you said that you were a drama influencer.
Yes.
I'm really curious what that means and how one gets that job because, we're still working on it, clearly.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually an in-joke with a friend of mine who was like, Amanda, you think getting paid for live tweeting on the PBS shows? I was like, I know, right? But I'm not. So I just made she's like, you should be an influencer or something like Instagram. I'm like, I don't think there's any money in being masterpiece influencer on Instagram. I'm just going to pretend it is anyway. It's going to be just for my bio. So yeah, that's the joke.
Awesome.
Perfect.
It's funny because I work in
I think
life too, so it's like a double meeting. So yeah.
Yeah. Got it. I think declaring oneself an influencer is the way you start becoming an influencer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're 90% there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing that you have in your title here is cosplay, like mistress, enthusiast.
Yeah, something like that. Basically, I've been cosplaying for, it's 2020 now, so a decade.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's really cool. And we've seen some of your costumes from Poldark.
We've shown them on this very show.
Yes, the Poldark ones. I have more though, of course. They're not Poldark, but like Poldark was really the thing that got me to learn to sew. Because before then, I was doing mostly Doctor Who costumes. And with Doctor Who, they're pulling stuff off the racks in England. So it's like, oh, that's from Topshop. Oh, that's from All Saints. And then we'll find out or a knockoff or whatever. But Poldark is what that did sewing because I wanted a Elsa's wedding dress, and then I taught myself how to sew on YouTube.
Oh,
And
wow.
then here, I started making Hamilton and Outlander things, and Victoria, Queen Victoria. That was actually one of my favorite ones. I don't know if you guys have the picture. Pull that
I
one
don't
up.
think we got the Victoria one, but
Which I do know the Victoria costumes though. So.
Victoria and myself in it.
Oh, nice.
that's so cool. Oh my god.
That's awesome.
So, what was your first like foray into dramas as a genre? Like, what made you be like, this is my favorite thing, and I gotta watch these?
Okay, I just realized I did not send you guys the Queen Victoria one. That's my fault. Oopsies. That's my fault.
We'll post it on our Twitter later tonight so people can see the
Yeah, for
gloriousness.
So, I grew up in the 90s in New York without cable because it wasn't even for both reasons. It was mostly my grandma being nervous about sex and violence on television. So
Sure.
what do you do with that situation? PBS and a whole crap ton of it. So at first, things like Arthur and Wishbone, but then, on Sunday nights, the dramas would come on and I'd start watching them. And the repeats of Keeping Up Appearances, and back in the day, when they actually had things like Monty Python on, like that was fun. I probably saw some stuff I probably shouldn't have seen as a kid. Like I remember Alex Kingston's boobs from that Nasty's drama way the hell long ago, and I'm like, that's probably a problem. But it was smart, so it's a win-win. And of course, I was watching history documentaries and nature and other stuff on PBS. But it was the one I remember distinctly the most from childhood was the 2002 Foresight Saga.
Oh, nice.
I was obsessed as a kid, but then I go into school the next day and nobody knew what it was, and I'm just sitting here like awkward. That I read about. I mean, nobody cared about my analysis when I read it. It was really sad. But now we have this thing called the internet where I could post my feels on social media, and then, of course, I also remember in 2008 when all the Jane Austens appeared, all the miniseries reappeared, and then Little Dora, and then that happened, and that was a whole new level. I started live tweeting every Sunday. I even watched those episodes like before it was aired in America because that's how obsessed I need to find out everything. Like I saw Matthew's car crash in real time in London, and everybody's freaking out on Twitter and having meltdowns, and spoilers are everywhere, and I'm just like, people beat us in February or March or whatever it happened. I was just like, I have the key to all the spoilers here. And then of course, Cold Art changed my life in a different way. Met me, and I actually went over to the filming locations and met some of the cast members. It was insane. And of course, just navigating my way to expressing my opinions online about the show, it cemented my love for Master's TV, but at the same time, it actually taught me a lot of not so great things about the internet. But it's been fun. 5 years for that, and then now Sanditon kind of grabbed my attention. Obviously, the second I saw Crystal Clark's promo, I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm crying, I'm on the floor because every time I see someone brown on the shows, I'm just like, this is so real. I feel like I'm being represented, and Georgiana, especially to me, like my grandparents are from Trinidad, so sort of like there could have been my family somewhere. Like I don't know it yet because Ancestry.com doesn't work outside of America, so it's sort of like I'm only second generation in, so it's kind of difficult. But I have a feeling I can easily see somebody like Georgiana being in my family tree somewhere. It's really realistic. It's not just like it's more than an idea. Okay, this is people like her were part of the history of the country. So it's entirely possible that these situations were real in a way that for other people it wouldn't have that same resonance. That's also why I identified so strongly with Kitty Desberg last season on Poldark, because I'm like, she's the best character ever. And I go online and everybody's like, she's awful. I go, I'm just like, it could have been somewhere in my family tree. I had no idea either, but it was totally plausible. And I'm like, it felt like I had to defend these characters. Actually in the midst. And people weren't really, for people who like her, they called her a brat. I noticed a lot of Massey's viewers are actually getting the point about her her struggle, her trauma, racism, and how Lady Di still god awful. I mean, there are people like Lady Di walking around America right now who don't even realize it. Like, it's totally,
true.
She symbolizes so much, and I feel like a lot of people miss that point. Because it probably doesn't happen to people if you're not white. Like, if you're white, some may not have this kind of money. I mean, I'm not trying to generalize experiences, but it's hard to explain this stuff when you don't see it in your face every day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think some folks in the UK, when this aired, they kind of missed some of these subtleties. They understood it was bad, but they're not realizing that the way they're interpreting characters. You guys have hidden biases feeding into the way you're interpreting the situation. Same thing with Otis and this whole meltdown last tonight with, he's horrible because he sold her to slavery. And I'm like, he was anti-slavery. Why would he try to do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Sure.
And on that point, I think we should actually go into our hot take debate this week on Otis's thing. Let's keep talking about that.
Indeed. So, the hot take debate topic, would we take Otis back after what happened in tonight's episode? I could easily argue either side because I genuinely could. But I would like to start with Amanda-Rae, if you're okay with that.
I would put him back.
Okay.
Because he's clearly learned his lesson. We don't know what Sydney's dispute is with him outside that he's unsuitable. The thing is, unsuitable how? Is it because you want control of her money, or you just don't like him? This is not he's a gambler thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to stop doing that. I mean,
yeah, he's learned his lesson.
I hope.
Yeah, he's learned his lesson. I think people need to understand that Sydney's a bit of a paternalistic racist, and they're not. Many people are not getting that point. They're just all acting with this. I'm like, I can't help but support Black love. Like, that's kind of how I see it. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't be like, oh, Georgiana should marry somebody else, and I just don't want her money being used by Tom to prop up his drama, because that's on him for having the Regency equivalent of 10 credit cards. I mean, that's your fault.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think that it's worth noting that Tom spends money like water, so I think worrying about the money thing is not really fair on Sydney's part.
Yeah.
However, I think gambling addiction is real enough that I would probably be a little bit worried that that would be a recurring issue in our relationship.
Especially in my so I will take the opposite opinion here.
Okay, go.
I love Otis. I think he's very fun, very nice guy, very handsome man.
Yeah, dreamy.
Totally dreamy. But that being said, I think the addiction thing is a little scary, especially since you have money. And, you don't, I feel like in this era, you don't really know the person that well. You don't have the luxury of dating somebody for 2-3 years before you get married to them. So, and you don't have the luxury of knowing somebody so intimately that you can trust them fully. And I think Otis is great, and I think he's definitely learned his lesson to what we've said, but that being true, I don't feel like she could know him well enough.
Well, and what I wonder about too is if you have that much money, I mean, that's something like $12 million. I did the math because I was like, what? How much is 100,000 pounds? That's a lot of money, and I would always worry that anyone who I married would not spend that well, because she doesn't have control of her finances the minute she gets married, which is such a terrible law.
Yeah.
But I also that is so sad to have to close yourself off from love, especially from someone who's so great.
Yes.
Just to protect yourself. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that ending for her, because she's so cool.
Yeah. But to your point also, and to I guess your point too, Jackie, is no matter who she marries, she's going to be richer than them. Yeah. That would be like saying,
yeah, I guess so.
If a Hollywood star married any plebeian on the street.
Yeah, but they have prenups. She can't get a prenup. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There's no prenups
Sexism.
I don't like that. Yeah. Never mind. Boo. Boo marriage. Run away, Georgiana. Be independent. Or they could never get married and they just like stay boyfriend and girlfriend forever.
I'm not mad at that.
I mean,
I think probably society would be mad at that.
Yeah, society would definitely be mad at that.
Well, we obviously like can't get to the bottom of this because I think that we have our modern ideals mixed with like the realities of whatever year this is set in, the 1800s. But I want to know what you guys think out there in internet land. So I'm going to go back to the phone and see what we've got cooking. Okay, so we have we have a great comment from Devin on Facebook, which is hashtag better than the Oscars.
Oh my God, thank you,
Devin. We also have a reaction to the hot take debate. We have at TweetKP2011 who says, no way he risked her life and did not own up to it.
Oh.
Interesting. So I'm curious if Otis's that whole conversation I found to be really interesting because he's very like, I just talked about how great you are. I never said like I'm going to get your money.
Yeah, and I think whenever you're in love with somebody, right, you talk to everybody about them nonstop, and it's not, that was the part I had a hard time with because it's not that, you know, he was like, she's so rich and so funny, but also rich. It's not like he said that. I'm sure he said a lot of things and they were just like, oh, let's Google her name in 1800s England version of Googling, which I assume is gossip.
Yeah, sure.
And then they were like, oh, she's rich? Cool. Let's just take care of that. So I feel like he was probably like, she's beautiful and so cool and really funny. And then they asked somebody and found out that she was a rich lady. And then they were like,
right,
let's do that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We have another hot take debate thought. This is in the opposite direction. It is from Teresa Arquin. Hey there, Terry.
Hey.
And she says, take Otis back and hire a good accountant. So,
there it is. And a lawyer.
And a lawyer.
A good accountant and a good lawyer.
Yeah. Well, we would love to continue getting your opinions. Please write them in Facebook. You can put them in the comments on Twitter. You can put them on the comments on YouTube. And Zach will find them and put them in this phone for me to read out loud. Oh, we have another comment from Karen on Facebook. And she says, no, he took risks with her life and used her wealth to get a bigger line for gambling. Gambling is an addiction that's not easy to overcome.
It's true.
Oh,
that is true.
Keep coming at us with those comments. Yeah. I will keep this phone here, but we're going to go on to our next segment, and that is the Sydney score. Dun, dun, dun.
So, Amanda, did she write down a Sydney score for us this week?
I do have one.
Okay, right. Good.
Shall we all hold them up?
Hold up. All
right. And go.
Go.
Hey, look at that. We all did pretty similar.
Yay.
Okay.
Oh, you gave him a high score this week.
Okay, so
wow, that's too high.
As the
odd one out,
I'll go first. So here's why I gave him a 4. I think that there is still a lot to be desired from Sydney's behavior. He's still kind of mansplaining.
Kind of. Just a little.
But I will say this. I think that he has had some growth this episode in terms of like talking to Charlotte like more. He's been telling her some of his stuff. Granted, he's still not telling everybody all of his backstory, and frankly, like his responsibility to Georgiana as her guardian means that I think he should be saying to her like, hey, the reason I think that you're gonna get over your heartbreak is because I did, and here's my thing.
He's being too macho. Machismo is
a problem for him.
Blowing out anything good for him.
But he did actually seem to genuinely worry for her and care for her tonight in a way that I don't think I've really bought from him in the past. Like when he said like, oh, I hate it, like I have to be in charge of this girl, I don't like it. That's not super compelling to me.
Yeah.
But when he says like, I'm worried about Georgiana, I want to get her and save her.
Look, I'm not going to lie. As soon as a man jumps from one carriage to another for me, that's when I'm like, oh, okay, he cares.
It's the Fast and the Furious vibes. I can't say enough. But I understand why you might not have given a higher score, but I would like to hear directly from the ladies' mouths. I hate that I said that. I'm sorry. It's pretty terrible.
If you don't mind, Amanda-Rae, I'll go first, and then we'll move on to you. Cool. So for me, I gave him a 3 because there was a lot of romantic tension this week that I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed that. And I'm just saying I'd waltz with that boy anytime. But at the same time, I thought his explanation of like, no, I hate slavery, left a little bit to be desired.
Right.
And also
Yes.
him going over and talking to Eliza? I missed it.
I think that's her name.
Anyway,
I don't
his
know.
ex-fiance
Come on.
was like, he was just like, oh, hey, I'll be right back. And then, honestly, if you are off at a ball dancing with a guy and he immediately beelines across the room to the woman that he used to be engaged to who's recently widowed, you're going to be like, well, I guess that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's clearly, in my opinion, still hung up on her. So 2 points for him there.
Yes.
How about you, Amanda-Rae?
Yes.
Okay, for me, I'm gonna give him a 3, and this is me being generous because I could have given him like a -20 if I was angry. But what is bothering me about Sydney is that, first of all, he's not explaining his family history slavery. The one-hand comment is not enough for me because, first of all, he's still treating Georgiana like as a annoyance and father. That the only thing that she says about him, I totally believe. So that's sort of my thing, trusting Black women, aka her. So she doesn't like him, and therefore I don't like him, and I still think he's hiding something. We don't know what's going on with Eliza chick. Most likely she could be leading him on. Who knows? Or she might have money. Sorry. She might have money, so maybe he wants to bail out Tom. I don't know. But it's not looking good for Sydney. And I also don't like they forced him into the white savior narrative. That's totally not okay with me. And I know everybody's like, oh, he's so romantic. And I'm like, this is just a problematic thing that's happening right now. I know some people are nervous. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying him with Sherwood either. Sorry, I'm not a Sidlot person, as they say online. I'm totally Team Stringer. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling this at all.
Now that actually brings up something that we've been asked about online, which is everyone has said, you do a Sydney score every week. Can we do a Stringer score?
I could do a verbal
Yeah,
Stringer score.
everyone throw up your numbers for your Stringer score.
So I'm not going to lie, even though he wasn't in this episode, I think I would still give him like a 4.
I think I would give him a 5. I love an unproblematic fave. that's him, Stringer. Yeah. What about you, Amanda-Rae?
An 8 because I like him a lot.
I think the only reason I give him a 4 is because of how much he argues with his dad. I'm going to be honest.
Oh. You just like a happy family.
I just love a happy family, and I know that's not ideal. That's not perfect. That's not every family, but I just got to respect your elders a little bit.
Here's the thing.
Coming from my background.
Yeah. Everyone has their own ships.
Yes.
You can ship whatever you want to ship. We won't sink anyone's ship, I guess.
Not
is
today.
What I'm saying.
Not today.
Not today. And with that, we will go on to our next segment, which I'm really excited about. Cosplay Corner! Yay! All right. So obviously we have to talk about cosplay when we have a amazing cosplayer as our guest.
I can see it. I have like Georgiana's little wrap on. I didn't do the whole bonnet because that was get in the frame.
Sure.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Oh my God, so cool. And you sent us some pictures in advance, so we want to pull some of those up.
That was the story one, so I sent that along too.
Oh, great. Thank you.
No worries. So we have right now 2 from Poldark.
Yes.
I believe 2 Demelza outfits, right?
Yeah, and we're big Poldark fans, obviously, as well. Yeah. So Eddie, can you throw up one of those? Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yay. So what we have on screen is Demelza, I think? Red dress?
The red one, yes, that should be Demelza.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah, and I see the wig.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, because I'm the kind of person, if I have to match my hair with the character, I just can't wear my own hair or just like my hair styled into it. I just have to go all the way. That's just me.
Yeah.
No, I get that. That makes sense. And wigs are kind of fun.
Wigs are always fun.
When I'm Demelza, a lot of times people call me Merida. It's fun.
It's basically the same person, right?
Or I get Hamilton a lot when I'm dressed as Poldark at cons. And like, okay, I'm gonna roll that too since I'm also cosplay Angelica. So I'm like, fine.
Yeah. Sure.
It's the same era roughly. They're like 20 years apart in style, so it's like fine. I'm okay with that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's awesome. What is your favorite character to cosplay?
That is tough because I like all of I treat them all like my children. Favorite one to cosplay. I mean, it's tricky because I also love my Doctor Who cosplays.
Sure.
characters I dress up as a lot of times, it's more fun when people recognize me as the character straight up. I would say Angelica is the most fun just because most people recognize that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Singing the soundtrack at me, and hopefully I don't get to sore throat by the end of the day about how many times I have to like sing those little high notes and work, and yeah, it's just that's a lot of fun.
That's so cool. How long does it take to make each one of these costumes? I feel like it would take me 4 years, so I'm not a very fast sewer, so.
Well, usually between 2 weeks and a month, but it depends. There have been costumes I've made like over several months just because I had to like stop and start and
Wow.
up, and I screwed something up, so I had to like redraft it. So I'm really fast, and that means like several days of no work, no blogging, staying off of like Instagram and Twitter, like I get stuff done in like a week or two.
Wow.
Cool. That's really cool.
Do you have anything cooking right now, costume-wise?
Yes. On my mannequin right now, I have something from the War of the Worlds, which is actually not out in America yet, but I saw it already from the UK. It's from Poldark Expression Company. So it stars Eleanor Tomlinson, who's my fave.
Yes.
I'm like, dress up as her again.
Yes.
It's an Edwardian outfit this time. It's just that I
cool.
finished the buttons and some other fixes here and there. So that's on the mannequin. I'm going to the Doctor Who con next week in LA called Gallifrey 1, so I have a whole bunch of like Doctor Who costumes in my
Cool.
waiting, and also the Outlander figure as well. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, awesome. That's so cool.
That's really heavy.
Yeah. And one last question for this segment is what has been your favorite costume so far from Sanditon?
Oh, great question.
Besides the one I'm wearing, man, I love. And besides everything Georgiana's wore, I love Esther's style.
Oh, yes.
I like that they're using Charlotte Spencer's hair to her advantage. They're highlighting a lot of her natural beauty with the colors they pick. I love the black outfits. I love that lilac thing she wore last week at the beach. That was so cool. I love her outfits as well. I also like Charlotte's blue boots from the first episode at the festival. That was fun. I like those a lot. Me and Charlotte's outfit sort of like sometimes is a little bit too plain, and then sometimes, and then her ball gowns are nice. I just think that her styling sometimes, if you know what Regency stuff's supposed to look like, it falls short because she's always has her hair down.
Yeah.
Now, but like, they would never have their hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Normally up, like down like that. I think they're trying to have her as sort of like the young, innocent girl. But it's weird like that balance because usually even though she's like 22, she would have had her hair like up more like a married woman. So it's kind of a difficult balance. But everybody else has she's supposed to be outsider too, so it's sort of like aesthetic.
Awesome.
I was paying close attention to the ball thing this week, especially because I'm like, there needs to be higher end fashion here, and we saw that. So I was like,
yeah, I do have to say.
Because I'm like, what you wore right there would cost me, if I was trying to recreate that, at least $300. So yeah. I mean, silk's running about $25 to $35 a yard right now.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
It's a bit. It's
out of her budget, probably.
Yeah, it's dedefinitely out of her budget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like most of the things.
She's a farmer's daughter with like 11 siblings, so that's a lot.
Well, that is fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing your cosplay with us, because I don't know anything about it, and I'm
so
loving
much
it.
cosplay knowledge is always so interesting too.
Yeah, and I think it's weird because I feel like I'm one of the few people who specialize in everything Nasty's has ever done on screen. Nasty's someone to sew it, and eventually, like Downton's gonna be my next thing because I haven't actually sewn it out now.
Yeah.
Cool. I cannot wait for that. All right, we're gonna go into our next segment here. Oh no, I was wrong. I almost said the wrong one.
Oh,
This segment is called Whomst.
question mark, exclamation point.
So we had to do this segment because we've got a new character alert.
Fingers crossed a character who comes back because
I know.
I loved her.
So real quick, we have to talk about Susan.
Susan.
Who is she? I don't know, but I'm delighted to find out.
She's sassy.
Yes.
She's smart.
She knows that she shouldn't talk a lot of stuff at a party, but she does it anyway, which I really can respect.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet she's rich because she's doing that. She doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, and also she found like the introvert panic nook at the party and just hung out there, which is 100% my party move.
Waiting for a young woman to come along who she could mentor.
Yes, and then make
Also
fun of
my
like,
party move.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm hoping that she's a reoccurring character personally. She seemed pretty cool. I think she probably knows somebody, and we'll see her again because she had a lot of screen time for somebody that they're just going to throw away.
Right.
I mean, for somebody who was a catalyst for Charlotte to learn
that she's into Sydney.
I'm in love with Sydney. Who didn't see that coming? Charlotte, apparently.
And wait, so Amanda-Rae, you've seen this whole season, right?
Yes, I've seen it. So actually, I kind of, without spoilers, I knew going into this that Lady Susan was actually a hidden Jane Austen reference.
Oh, interesting. Is there a way that you can tell us more without spoiling it?
Yes, I can. Thankfully, there's something that has like aired years ago that I can kind of refer to. So, remember that Jane Austen movie a couple years ago called Love and Friendship?
Yes.
Lady Susan's the main character. So that is where Lady Susan's coming in.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
That's a delightful Easter egg.
This is where my lack of knowledge in Jane Austen is failing me.
I don't know the deep cuts, but I'm glad you do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's funny, I don't consider myself as hardcore in Austen as other people. Like I belong to Jasna, which is like the Austen organization, but I knew that because I saw that movie like
of course. So, I totally didn't even think of that. I didn't even realize that. That's awesome.
The more you know.
There we go. Well, now we know whomst it is.
Yeah, whomst indeed.
But fingers crossed she does come back because I still like her. Yeah.
All right, so now we're actually going to go on to the segment that I almost said earlier, which is, if you like this, the most fun to say, the one that Andrea hates the most.
That's just because I hear you say stuff like that all the time all day.
I know. So tonight's If You Like This from us is Victoria. We kind of mentioned it earlier. We had to bring it up again. Look, there's a lot of sexy ball action in Victoria. I really wish I hadn't said that way, but I did. So
I wasn't going to say anything, but here we are.
They dance a lot. And,
and there's also
costumes.
a lot of great where she's like, let's have another costume ball. We just had one last season, but who wouldn't love another?
You know, if you're the queen, and you're rich, and you got all the silk in the land,
why not?
And you've got a dashing husband with
and
a
you got to keep
mustache.
Spitalfields in business. And also in that first season, when Alfred first comes to Albert. Oh my God!
Whoa!
What is wrong with me today? When Albert first comes to court, and he just sort of is like, "Hello, let us dance," and Victoria's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
That first season with the two of them has the premier tension of like, let's go to a ball and dance.
And just like grasp each other's hands.
Just so delicately.
Yeah.
It's mwah. It's beautiful. Their romance in the early days is beautiful.
Yeah. So if you like this, we think you like Victoria. But that's our recommendation. Amanda-Rae, do you have a recommendation for us for our?
I actually have two because I am a little bit over the top. So the first one is going to be Vanity Fair. It does have a slight PBS connection because it's the same production company as Victoria. And the same one as Endeavor and Polar. It's called Mammoth Screen. They're my faves, and I love them. So I had to plug one of their shows, but I'll stop. But here's why for Vanity Fair. It's technically the darker side of Victoria. Social climber. She has scenes in gambling dens, just like we saw here. Her adventures in love have to be for money because she has none, and she pretends to be richer than she is, and she ends up in weird situations. And anybody who likes the social tension aspect of the Sanditon and also the like sexy stuff, because there's ball scenes, and there's the Napoleonic War, which is totes romantic, you know?
What isn't romantic about fighting a short man in a fancy coat?
Yeah, exactly. And it was very well done. The costume is amazing. So everybody who wants costume session stuff, that's totally right up the alley there as well. Unfortunately, it was too expensive for PBS, so it ended up directly on Amazon Prime.
Rats.
Well.
Yeah. Anything that the Mammoth Screen does that's like way too expensive, that's what ends up happening. It's just
Sure.
So it's on the pockets, then the viewers like you.
Yeah. And what was your second recommendation?
Now, for people like me who are really interested in the Georgiana side of things and Black History, Belle, which is
Yes.
the movie with Amanda-Rae and Penelope Wilton and some other people I forget right now that should be on streaming somewhere. For my all-time faves, and it's actually the background story for Georgiana herself because Jane Austen knew Dido Bell's family.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's really cool. That's great to know.
Small world.
And going back to there's a character also like Georgiana in there. Her name is, I cannot remember her name for a second, Mrs. Swartz, and she's actually also not only Black but Jewish as well. So it's a little bit everything there.
Awesome.
Oh.
I think that's actually the second recommendation we've gotten for Belle.
Yes.
But I didn't know that fact about it being something Jane Austen knew about.
Right, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, those are great recommendations. So you will need for no more recommendations, folks. We got 3 for you.
Yeah, 3. That will probably take you a minute to watch,
Yeah,
too.
just a couple seconds. Okay. With that, we're going to go on to our ranking of the day.
Ranking of the day.
Ranking of the day.
All right.
So today's ranking, I guess, is the top 5 sad boys of Sanditon.
Single tier.
There were a lot of sad people in tonight's
Yeah.
episode, and just so you know, it is technically gender neutral, our
Yes.
sad boys ranking.
It's boys with an I. Sad
Yeah.
boys.
In the number 5 spot,
Yes.
we have Babs.
Oh, Babington.
Babbers.
I think if you're courting Esther, you're going to be sad at some point. Let's
Right.
be honest. She is a babe.
A super babe. A mega babe.
And she knows it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the problem you have courting Esther, is that she's like, I can kind of do what I want. That being said, I think they're a really good match because just the smile on her face when he proposed was
It was cute.
so cute.
It was cute.
But he is this week not as sad as some of the other sad boys of Sanditon, but he's clearly distraught.
Right, but he has like some self-esteem, so he's ready to move on with his life.
Yeah, but he is kind of still like questioning it, which I thought was interesting, is him being like, but has a lady ever been like, no to you? Is that a thing? You're a lady.
Can women say no?
Can women say no?
So that's Babs.
That is Babs. I don't know. What did you think about Babs this week, Amanda-Rae?
I think he's kind of questioning it too. He probably doesn't know what's going on with Edward, and as we noticed, Edward is might be back in doghouse, so he might not shoot it. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. At number 4,
Sydney. He was sad this week.
he was kind of sad.
He was kind of sad. He wasn't as sad as the others, and we had to include him.
It was more, I kind of treated her crappy, and now I kind of like her. Now I kind of think she looks cute in a ball gown. Oh, well.
I did
What can we say?
his real talk moment with Tom, where he's just like, I kind of made a mistake. I let down my best friend. Whoops.
Yeah.
He was a little sad in that moment.
He was. But for the most part, he was Sydney.
Yes.
More than sadness
Yeah.
was Sydney-ness.
And you know who he wasn't as sad as?
Who?
Number 3's spot, Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte felt real bad
Yeah.
this week. She was not pleased with herself.
Which, like, I get. Your friend got kidnapped.
Yeah, you kind of let it happen.
You kind of let it happen. That is pretty distressing.
Yeah. You were like, oh, I'll go with you to make sure you're safe, because as we know, when you're going to meet somebody for a Craigslist pickup,
You use the buddy system.
you use the buddy system, you bring a friend. And,
She did not.
she fell through on the buddy system.
She was too busy playing cricket and hitting on multiple dudes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unintentionally, I
You
think.
don't break up the buddy system just to flirt with men. That's a girl rule.
Come on, Charlotte. Get it together.
Boo.
Okay, number 2, Otis. Oh, that scene was heartbreaking.
Yeah. And I know that was one of your favorite scenes this week, Amanda-Rae. So do you want to expand on it a little bit for us?
I feel bad for Otis, but first of all, he probably didn't even realize how most likely this con that was going on was probably from weeks or even he didn't even realize that his brother was being infected. I felt bad for him for that.
Yeah.
He has to watch now, instead of him saving Georgiana, Sydney and Charlotte, who, as I said before, it's kind of a problem because it's showing his dependence essentially on other people. It's not great for a man to feel that way when he was probably about to, he was probably going to propose her if this whole thing didn't happen.
Yeah.
So it just, makes me feel really bad because I have a feeling now they're gonna force them apart and they can never talk to each other again. It's
I
like
know.
now Georgiana, who else is Georgiana gonna talk to you in this horrible like town full of racists? And I'm like, this is awful. Like,
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, to your point, you know, I mean, he's part of the Sons of Africa, and she's a free woman with a lot of money, and I think it's difficult because, you know, they found each other, as you're saying, in this community, and now they're not talking anymore. And it's bad enough when you break up with somebody, but when you're in this world that they live in,
like full of microaggressions, full of just like a bunch of really unpleasant people.
Yeah, and you find somebody that you can rely on and be comfortable with and not have to worry about even accidental microaggressions.
Right.
You know, you don't even have to worry about any of that because they fully understand you and what you are going through.
Yeah.
It stinks.
It does stink.
It stinks. It really stinks.
It stinks. Yeah, no.
Sorry, I was pulling on my Paul Rudd there. But
Paul Rudd. Great Paul Rudd.
But yeah, I think I agree. It's very rough because I think they're a great couple, and I really admire both of them as characters. So
yeah, but you know who was the saddest boy this whole week? I think, like not maybe the most genuinely sad, which I think would be Otis.
No, I think they were both pretty genuinely sad.
It's Tom. Tom had a real trying week.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrecked stuff with his wife pretty bad.
Yeah.
And Mary might be my favorite character on the show.
Yeah.
I say that about everyone, but I really like her.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a sucker for a letter writing campaign.
Sure.
So as soon as you start writing to me, babe, I messed up. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll respond to your email. I guess we can talk about it.
Yeah. But I don't know that Mary is a sucker for a letter writing campaign.
We'll just have to wait till next week.
I think she might pull a Hamilton and light that letter on fire. I don't think, like, fingers crossed, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
So he messed up with his wife. He lost all the town's money. He's not having a good time recruiting people to come to his regatta.
LOL, whoops.
He's just literally in London. And then his friends show up and he's like, friends, finally. Oh, you're all really sad. What's going on?
Yeah.
Tom.
I do have to say my ironic favorite part of this episode is when he's in the party just going, Sydney!
Come here, Sydney!
Which is literally everybody has done that at a party at some point when you're like, you have to tell them about your thing, which is my regatta, but you got to tell them about it for me.
Get over here, buddy.
Yeah. It was a very cute brother moment. But yeah, he was a sad sack this week, and I feel bad for Tom.
Hopefully he turns it around. We'll see.
Still fingers crossed for our boy there.
And I think we're going to take it to the social phone.
Let's do it.
I want to see the comment of the day.
All right.
Hopefully we've got one from Zach. Let's check it out. Okay, we've got a couple that I want to throw out here that we've got from folks. Thank you, David. So last week I did my Sydney score as Sydney Parker, or rather as Charlotte pretending to be Sydney Parker. And David says that he was appreciated it. So thank you, David. I did it all for you.
Appreciated, but not impressed. I will note that. Thank you.
Wow.
Anyway, news at 11.
That's really mean, Andrea. We also have a comment from Karen on Facebook who says that she totally agrees with Amanda-Rae and she loves Esther's costumes. They are fantastic. Yes. Unimpeachable opinion. And we have our comment of the day here from Devin, which we did read earlier. It's the hashtag better than Oscars.
Yes, that wins the comment of the day.
I don't think we can do better than that.
We're not so vain that, no, we are vain. That's it, we're vain. Sorry, that's it.
We probably think that song is about us.
Yeah, oh, it is about us, I mean, duh.
Come on. So yeah, comment of the day.
I just wanted to thank Amanda-Rae again for joining us this week and bringing her excellent cosplay knowledge. And talking to us more about Georgiana and Otis being like couple goals, hashtag couple goals.
And adorable in the best.
And thank you again, audience, for joining us again for Drama After Dark. Join us again next week for episode 7.
Yes, we'll be back.
We'll be back with even more romantic tension than ever.
Probably, we hope.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.